This ship is slow. It has no weapons, no defenses. Every internal module has been stripped of unnecessary parts or thrown out entirely to save weight. The only thing not held on with duct tape and string is the massive 6A frameshift drive, which, excluding the hull, accounts for 65% of this ship's total mass. This death trap of a ship has been meticulously assembled, its purpose to define the very limits of how far one can possibly travel in a single jump. So let's take a look at this engineering puzzle known as the Navigator. The first step is going to be building the ship itself. Starting with the hard points, everything is left empty. Same goes for the utilities. Moving on to the core internals, we begin at the hull with 1C lightweight alloys modified with grade 5 heavy-duty armor and the deep plating experimental effect. We can get away with this because the lightweight alloys have a mass multiplier of 0, and since our ship has no shield, this will give us added protection from hard landings without adding to the mass of the ship. Next is the 2D power plant, overcharged to grade 4 with the stripped down experimental effect. It's overcharged to grade 4 specifically because that is the lowest grade required to power the ship's modules. Moving down, we have the thrusters, which we will ignore for now. At this point, install anything class 5 and up. We'll come back to these shortly. Next is the unique double-engineered 6A frameshift drive from a community goal that has both grade 5 increased range and grade 5 fast boot sequence. This means it has a higher optimized mass compared to a standard 6A frameshift drive. Additionally, I've added the Mass Manager experimental effect to further increase the optimized mass. Next is the life support module with a simple grade 5 lightweight modification. The power distributor is a class 1D with the grade 1 engine focused modification, which allows us to apply the stripped down experimental effect. The sensors are class 8D with the grade 5 lightweight modification, and at the bottom of the list is the derated 8-ton fuel tank, which is conveniently the same amount of fuel required for a max range jump. Switching over to the optional internals, we have a 7A fuel scoop. Fuel scoops do not add any mass, so why not go big? The only other module in here is the 5H Guardian frameshift drive booster, which gives us an additional 10.5 light years of jump range. Once we have the rest of the ship built, we can work on the thrusters. Using the technique pioneered by Commander Mini, we will add 4D thrusters to another ship, in my case this Type 6, and fly them over to Felicity Farseer in Desiat. There we will apply the grade 1 clean drive modification with the drive distributor's experimental effect. We will then store that module at Felicity Farseer, fly back to the Navigator, which we will then fly back to Felicity Farseer, where we are now able to swap out the existing thrusters with the class 4D thrusters that we just stored there. Once they are installed, we'll then switch the experimental effect from drive distributors to the stripped down experimental effect. This shouldn't be possible, but you won't see me complaining. Now that the ship is complete, we need to find a neutron star for the boost. Recall that for a max range jump we need 8 tons of fuel. However, jumping into the neutron star system will put us short of that fuel requirement. In order to get around this, we can jump a fleet carrier into that system and use it as a refueling point. If you don't have a fleet carrier, or even if you do, I'd recommend using Jackson's Lighthouse. It's a neutron star system located inside the bubble and is normally populated by a wide range of fleet carriers, generally open to the public. Tariffs may vary. Now that everything's set up, all that's left to do is jump. I've broken the jump sequence down as follows. Step 1. Pre-charge the FSD off of the neutron star by flying through one of its cones. Step 2. Dock at a fleet carrier and refuel the ship to 100% capacity. Be careful to not repair the FSD, as this will remove the supercharged effect. Step 3. Find a system 0.01 light years short of the unladen jump range indicated in your ship. In our case, 365.20 light years is our unladen jump range, meaning our target should be 365.19 light years away. One clarification here is that the current jump range indication is misleading, as it adds the unusable fuel for the jump into the calculation. In reality, our true jump range, including the unusable fuel, extends beyond the current indication up to a maximum of unladen minus 0.01 light years. And lastly, step 4, line up with the target system and send it.